YouTube has said it will no longer allow misinformation related to abortion on its platform, including false claims about the safety of the procedure and potentially unsafe instructions about how to self-induce an abortion. The video sharing service added abortion-related content to its medical misinformation policies, which also prohibit false claims about COVID-19 and vaccines. The policy change took effect 22nd of July 2022. Joining us to discuss further is Ajibola Akanmo, who is an investment analyst. Ajibola, good afternoon to you. Let's start with Twitter. Well, what do you make of the earnings from Twitter?
I mean, quite disappointing that, they recorded a 270 million loss in the first quarter. And I was going through some of the figures here. So let me just, read out major points. So the monetizable daily active users grew by 16% to 237.8 million. We saw the revenue tank by 1%. But the reason why we saw that tank was the decline in subscription and other revenues by 27%. We also saw expenses increased significantly by 31%. So that's why we're seeing, that decline in the second quarter. But overall, when we're looking at the first half of the year, Twitter's revenue is actually up, or its net profit is actually up by 82%, currently recording 243 million. So it's not necessarily a good quarter for Twitter, but ultimately Twitter is still doing well so far this year, compared to other tech firms that are, of course, we know what's going on with tech firms and their revenues today. So
people are saying Elon Musk is locked in on this $44 billion deal and can't escape. I mean, I know you're not a lawyer, but what do you make of that?
I mean, if you look at that earnings report, Twitter basically accused Elon Musk for, the poor performance in their revenue. They basically said that the reason why their revenue was low was because of macroeconomic headwinds, which is basically affecting all tech-related companies, and as well as deal with Elon Musk. They said the uncertainty, and I'm quoting what they wrote here, the uncertainty relating to the pending acquisition by Elon Musk. So right now, Twitter is taking Elon Musk to talk to court, basically trying to force him to complete the acquisition after he said that he was backing out from the deal. So right now, it's for the court to actually determine whether or not it's material enough for Elon Musk to back out of the deal as a result of this, ghost users on Twitter. So I think the court is now going to determine whether or not is that a material reason for Elon Musk to say, "Oh, I'm not doing this deal anymore," or if it's material enough for Elon Musk to pull away from the deal. I think right now it's left to the court to actually decide this. But in my own candid opinion, I do not really think that the amount of fake accounts on Twitter is enough for Elon Musk to back out of the deal. I mean, every single platform, social media platform, everybody, there's always that need for fake accounts, right? So I don't necessarily think that's enough for Elon Musk to back out of the deal. But ultimately, let's see what happens with the case in October. Hopefully, we see more, get more information, and we see where the court decides regarding Twitter and Elon Musk.
All right. I think Twitter stock is down about 1.2, 1.4% or so at the opening of the market. Let's focus on tech, on healthcare. Amazon, what do you make of the purchase of One Health for almost $4 billion?
Well, this is basically Amazon's third largest acquisition, behind the 13.7 acquisition of Whole Foods and the acquisition of that Hollywood studio MGM for $8.7 billion. So the acquisition of One Medical is actually, the third largest acquisition they've done. One Medical, what do? Basically offer virtual health services and how to offer 24/7 health services. And, when Amazon broke into the space with the acquisition of another health firm, when they actually launched their Amazon Health Services, it means that, Amazon is actually doing their bit to actually build a presence in the space. And they want to be the leader in the space. And that's why they're acquiring, companies that are relatively built and establishments in the healthcare, in the technology-driven healthcare sector, right? And they're trying to leverage on that and to offer, these services and, build in that stead, or should I say their brand in that particular region. I think, the tech-driven healthcare sector is a very, very significant industry that I believe there's a lot of potential to be tapped from. And I think Amazon has already cited this potential and they're ready to go all out to, get the fruits of their labor, so to say, to tap into that particular space. That's what I think about it. I think it's a good one for Amazon, and I think that we will see more and more of this kind of acquisitions from Amazon going forward.
All right. Also, Apple putting out a research report on its foray into the healthcare industry. What do you make of that move?
I mean, Apple has, in a way, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it a healthcare, a move into the healthcare industry, but I'll say more into fitness because, their Apple Watch has always been all about fitness and always been all about, trying to get people to work out more. It's really more fitness geared, right? So them moving into healthcare is actually very, very good, or them trying to get into the healthcare sector is actually very good. They've partnered with Stanford University School of Medicine to help them in that bid. And aside from that, they are creating a kind of data layer whereby, people can store your health information on your iPhones, where you would, for instance, your BP level, whether you have a medical history that is good or bad, all those kind of information that you may not necessarily have in handy. You're able to store that on your iPhone, and Apple will not necessarily have access to this data. The individuals the owners of the iPhone will have the sole access to that data. I think that's actually a very, very good niche, especially in medical emergency cases where, let's say you get into an accident or something, you just need to, show your face ID, and then the emergency responders will be able to see your medical history and everything that's going on with you before they actually start administering medicines to you or any kind of medication that they want to do. So I think it's a good idea. Apple is going into this journey, and it's interesting to see who is going to win this race in the technology-driven medical field scene.
Indeed. Ajibola Akanmo, investment analyst, thank you so much for taking us through the headlines. Appreciate your time.